Sun is shining, the weather is sweet, yeah. Make you want.
Hi guys, welcome to the Straw Hat Farmers YouTube channel. So today we are going to be focusing on our TMR mixture, which is short for total mixed ration. So this is what we normally use when we have transitioned our animals from feeding in the field to being basically intensive, right? So they stay in and we bring the feed to them. So in order to ensure that what we're giving them has all the nutrients that they need, we make a complete mixture and provide it to them 2 or 3 times per day, depending on the feed size that we're working with. So we have 3 main ingredients, really. We have our bear ups, we have our hay, and we have other ingredients such as our salt and our free choice minerals. Normally we use molasses as well, to add a bit of sweetness to the mixture, as well as some carbohydrates for quick energy, but we don't have any molasses today, so we are foregoing that and we're sticking to the other ingredients that I listed. So we started off here we have our bear ups that we have stored in our drum. So we're using from this. So this is where we wash and rinse and we do our quick squeeze. Over here we have the dried bear ups that is ready to be mixed, and behind here we have a drum of chaffed hay, right? We have another one around the back here. So they've gone through the chaff cutter, courtesy of our neighbor, and then we're going to be doing a mixture in this half a drum here. So far I've placed 1 bucket of chaffed hay, and to that I've sprinkled a bit of water, because I don't know how familiar you are with the hay, but once it's been chaffed and placed in storage, well, once it's been chaffed on a whole, it produces a lot of dust. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. See? So it produces a lot of dust, which can cause sinus inflammation and all of that, and we're not going down that route. So I just sprayed it with a bit of water to keep the dust down and to help to kind of moisten the hay, and then we're going to add our bucket of bear ups to that mixture. Pause. So to this we're going to add some salt. Be generous with the salt. And then we're going to add a handful of the free choice minerals. For anyone who doesn't know what it looks like, that's it. Alright, so what I try to do is to avoid having the salt and the free choice minerals stuck in one section of the bear ups mixture. So you just do a quick mixture to allow it to kind of spread throughout the bear ups, and then you can, if you have any, at this point you would add your pellets to the bear ups, mix it same way, and then you can go further with your concoction. So we have added our pellets to the mixture. What I'm going to do now is to add another bucket of hay to this. So what we're going to have is hay at the bottom, bear ups in the middle, hay at the top. So what you don't want to do is to use an equivalent amount of hay and bear ups mixture, right? Bear in mind that there is a requirement for the ruminant diet, right? So you don't want to have an equivalent amount of grains and fiber or grasses in the diet. So you want to have a significantly lower amount of grains than the fibrous materials, because the greens can have an impact on the rumen that is in the stomach, right? So too much grains in the diet can cause what is called ruminal acidosis, right? So that's where the bacteria in the rumen start to die off because of an acidic pH that is present there. So what you want is to have a smaller amount of grains than your fiber materials, right? So I generally put a lot more hay or grasses in the mixture than greens. So if I'm doing a bucket of bare ups, we use 2 buckets of hay, right? So when you are mixing, you want to see a small amount of bare ups, but you don't want to see only bare ups and no hay in there, right? So I am adding to that. See that dust? That's the dust that we're talking about. So I'm going to sprinkle with a tiny bit of water just to keep the dust going. Alright. And now we mix. And you can see that despite the amount of hay I put in there, the bare ups is actually quite prominent. So we're going to mix until we get a cohesive mixture. Alright, so this is the mixture that we end up with when we finished mixing. So you can see the bare ups and some of the pellets right in there, but you see mostly hay, and that's what you want. But what's going to happen as you take out of this and you go down to the bottom, you're going to find that there's going to be a bit of bare ups that is settled in the bottom that's not mixed with the grasses. You don't want to put that into your mixture. What you want to do, add some more grass or some more hay to that and mix it and use that. Alright, so now I'm going to take from this into the bucket. You can take from this into the bucket or whatever container you're going to use and feed directly to your animals. If that's what you're going to do, it's probably best to wait like an hour or two to allow for the mixture to really settle and allow for some of that moisture to absorb into the grasses, so it's a little easier to digest. If that's what you're going to do, so wait like an hour or two. If not, and you're just going to store it, you can just do your transfer same time, but make sure once you've put it into your container to compress it to get that air out of the mixture, because if it remains with the air in there, it's going to start to form mold. So you're going to have mold proliferating in your container. You don't want that, because once there is mold, it is spoiled, right? So that's what we're going to do. Bam, bam, bam. So this is what I'm talking. As you look at this, you start to see more bare ups than grass, right? You don't want to be feeding that directly to them. If you have this, add some more grass to it to the point where you're seeing more hay than bare ups, and then you can feed them. So to this, I'm going to add a little bit more grass. Alright, so one more thing I don't want to forget. Why I also add a bit more hay to it is that you'll find that when you are feeding them the mixture that contains whether equal parts bear ups and hay, or more bear ups than hay, you're going to have a lot of bloating in your animals. Remember that bloating can kill, right? So sometimes what you can do is, if you're worried about bloating, or if this is something that you're just introducing to your animals, you can also add some baking soda to the mixture. Our animals are used to it, and we are used to how we the recipe that we use, so we generally don't use a lot of baking soda, but it's something that is good to add if it's something that you're newly introducing to your